We're just normal men.
What do you mean, normal men?
We're just innocent men.
It's time for Side Scrollers with me, Stuttering Craig.
I did. Oh, wow. Right on the tip. Just on the tip.
And Blabs. Co-hosted by our friends from around the internet.
There is a portion of Norway where it is legally required to carry a firearm at all times.
If you're just a normal man looking for common sense in this crazy-ass world, you've come to the right place. And now, broadcasting from our homes from around the internet, it's time for Side Scrollers. Oh, welcome on out to Side Scrollers on YouTube.com and Rumble.com, and of course, SideScrollersPodcast.com. What's going on, everybody? Hey, good to see you. It's Finish Strong Friday, everybody. Pretty kick some ass. Good to see you guys. Hi, I'm Stuttering Craig. Man, oh man, did the internet give us in the last 24 hours? It's good to see you guys. I'm glad you're with us, whether you're sitting on the throne, dropping a deuce, or in your truck, or just hanging out with us on your work day. Blabs, how are you? Are you pooping?
No, I'm not. What is this? No, anyway.
We established yesterday, Blabs, a solid 25% of our audience is pooping at all times.
This is very disappointing to hear. I don't need to know these information. I don't want to be talking and someone pooping. It's not a nice thought to think of.
Blabs, you're going to learn a lot about guys on this show. Logan, how often do you bring your phone to the toilet?
All the time, but
yes,
I would lie if I said I haven't watched you guys while taking a massive dump.
I told you, Blabs. It's true.
I don't want to know these things. Why should
I hear Blab's voice quite a bit when I'm pooping in the morning.
No!
Or afternoon, I guess it would be.
His afternoon poops.
Hey.
Listen, I hope they're just a little bit brighter if you hear my voice.
John, how much of the internet do you watch while dropping a deuce?
Oh, well, I'm pooping right now. And we'll be pooping throughout the rest of the show.
It's a really big one.
Well, John, there's a difference between just being shit and dropping pooping. Okay, how you doing, buddy?
Good, man.
Good.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, glad to see you, Logan. How are you?
I can't complain.
Yeah, it's good. Good. I'm glad you guys are here. We got a good show.
I'm good too. Thanks, Craig.
What?
It's fine. Whatever. Hi. No, put me back. Thank you. All right. Hello.
Tell everybody how you are, Blabs.
I'm fine. Thanks for asking.
Oh, I'm glad we got that. That's good. That's good. Really nailed that dismount there. That's good. All right. Well, we do have a great show for you guys, and Blabs is fine today.
I'm Eeyore.
It's okay. Look, we are going to get into some major news from a video game development side of things, where we have a game director has stepped down at Bioware, and that, yeah, we're going to get into that. The Switch 2, man, there's a lot of chit chat about that, and Logan says he's about to go crazy, Mortal Kombat on everybody and rip off some heads talking about it. It's going to be great. And of course, we have a new popcorn bucket, which has been a while since we've had a new popcorn bucket, but
yeah,
I have not looked at it. I'm very excited. Okay. Well, yes, I would imagine you have. You put it in the run sheet, Blabs.
One of us put it there.
Good. That's good. All right. So Logan and John are with us today. Their links to all their stuff is down below in the description. So make sure you guys go find their stuff and check out everything they have going on. First, I'd like to remind you guys, once again, we are live over at Rumble. We also have an X account where eventually we're going to be streaming over there, which is good. We also
what happened to that? You told me it was going to be on there, and you're like, Streamer says okay.
Yeah, I unsynced it. I resynced it. I don't know. There must be some sort of weird issue going on with the X account. So
Elon, fix your shit.
Yeah, Elon. You dummy.
Elon.
Yeah, Elon.
Stupid.
Everybody hates you now, Elon.
Yeah, fake
lying about you faker. Logan over here is like,
I don't really.
No, nobody actually cares.
Yeah, nobody actually cares except for Asmongold, who's making all the money making videos about it right now. Mm-hmm. So good for him, though. We also are live, or not live, but you can watch the show over on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. So go over there and check that out. Which, by the way, Blabs, I am 4 for 4 this week. Every day I've gotten it up.
I mean,
Little
there's
late.
5 days so far, so.
I know we can still fuck it up on Friday.
No,
and
not we. You wanted to put video format. Now this is on you. So.
people
just
enjoy the
fuck it up.
videos.
Well, listen. I need better internet to be able to do that. Or else
All
it'll be for 4 hours.
If you guys are watching over on Spotify or Apple Podcast, wherever you get your podcasts, put a comment down below letting us know that you actually watched the video. And if you don't, I have the data. The data shows that people actually like the videos more than the audio, but Blabs,
I can only do audio, guys. I don't know what it is about Spotify. I can't upload videos on Spotify. It takes like 3 hours. So Craig has now taken my spot as the Spotify uploader.
It takes roughly 5 minutes to do.
Yeah,
So,
shut up. 3 hours later.
3 hours later. All right. Well, if you are new to the channel, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button over here on YouTube. Join the 114,910 just normal men who have found common sense in the video game space. Love that. And let's do our best to get to the 1,337 likes today. We did that yesterday, which is great. It helps grow the show. It's awesome. Quick reminder, coming up in just about 6 days from now, the Real Game Awards will air on this channel coming up on the 23rd. The date has been corrected right there. Coming up at 7 o'clock, an evening thing. And I'll tell you what, I mentioned this over on X yesterday. I finished the first cut of that last night, and I was honestly kind of shocked with how efficient it was. Now, some people, I guarantee people be like, it was way too fast. But you know what? That's fine. Including a 15-minute pre-show, the entire show is less than an hour. That's 26 categories, 4 indie trailers. It flies by. So make sure you guys tune in for that coming up on Thursday. So I guess this coming Thursday now. I can't say next Thursday. So this has been 9 months in the making, which is really, really fun. So, and is it going to be perfect? No. Will people complain about it? Yes. And that's fine. But the point is this year is just get it done, do it as best we possibly can. And, improve every year. So look out for that. Quick reminder that over at sidescrollerspodcast.com, you can now watch this video, which we cannot air on YouTube. You can see pink phallus in front of the purple-haired lady in Blabs' face and her little pink thing on her shoulder there.
It's a pygmy puff.
Yeah, that's the thumb. Yeah, okay. That's the thumbnail for the video. And the video is uncut and uncensored. So,
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
Hey.
Can I give a little tease? I didn't realize that what I just said.
Great choice of words.
Yes, Blabs, you can give a little cocktease if you want.
Whoa, hello.
Oh my god.
All right, I'm done. Never mind.
That's great. And of course, our goal is 20 yellow super chats for Montez. I have officially started that goal today. It's going out live right now. But of course, we always like to start the show with today in video game history. So please, Blabs, fill us in. If you would, just give us a tease.
Oh no. January 17th, everybody. Ray Tracers was released in Japan in 1997. The Punisher was released back in 2005, making it a nice 20 years old. And did you guys know that Temple Run 2, the mobile game, was released in 2013, making it 12 years old today? Yay! I know, we went from the Punisher to Temple Run 2, but you're just going to have to get over it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thanks, Blabs.
You're welcome.
Some noticeable games that you missed today. Obviously, Punisher is probably the biggest one. And Punisher, by the way, I actually have the kills that you can do in that game pulled up, but I don't think we can actually show them on the channel. And we are going to not show them because Logan is on the show, and Logan has a way of getting us flags.
That was once, and you took my advice. That's it.
I know. Way to go.
I can do it again.
So, anyways, great game. But other game that you missed today, Blabs, Ape Escape 3 for the PlayStation 2. in 2006. Blazing Souls for the PlayStation 2 in 2006 as well. And Digimon Adventure for the PlayStation Portable 12 years ago, Blabs. So there's a couple
Yeah, but Temple Run 2.
Yeah, but Temple Run 2, she says.
Okay, do you guys remember in the first one how you could play as Usain Bolt?
I did not know that.
Also,
Wait a minute, nobody.
one.
There was a first Temple Run. It was phenomenal. Like everybody was playing it because that game came out when, like, the mobile game came out when I was in high school. It was everywhere. It was like
You
the
were
new
in high
Angry
school.
Birds. Yeah, I was in high school in 2013. Anyway, yeah, Usain Bolt. Actually, really cool.
You want to see Blabs get really excited?
What?
Here it is, Blabs. Temple Run 2, Usain Bolt edition for you. Look at Blabs about to go pee her pants in excitement and Usain Bolt running around.
The first one was better, but still, this game was fun. It was really difficult, actually.
It's an endless runner.
Yeah, it's actually really difficult.
There's so much depth.
Oh.
Look.
I kind of remember this now. Imagine you just tap to jump, tap the screen or whatever.
Yeah, and like you would tilt your phone.
Oh, right, yeah.
Hey man, it did a lot.
Look at Usain Bolt in a
cart.
In a mine cart. Oh, get effed, Usain Bolt.
What year was this again?
That was 2013 Temple Run 2.
I was running a Windows phone.
I didn't even have a smartphone until I was 20. I ran this stuff on my iPod Touch.
Good for you. Good for you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Bike Shorts Senpai came in, gets right off the bat, says, I goon with anime women all the time for 28 years. Right.
Based.
Good for you.
JWT came in, says, by gooner, are you asking if I'm third line center that was sent out to fight with a guy in a hockey game? Yes, that's exactly what we're talking about, JWT. That's called a goon in hockey, is you go out and you beat the hell out of people. So.
John, you should know this. You're Canadian. You're literally born on hockey skates. I don't know, like a lake.
Just occurred to me now that you mentioned it. Yeah, I remember that now.
Yes. Mo came in, says, I listened to y'all while in the shower. Let's not make it weird, okay? Torgo says, they're member sheets for a reason, Blabs.
Guys, I named it memberships.
Mike says, Bioware got bushwhacked. Hey, let's go, Mike. That's a good pun. We'll get to that in a little bit. Jason came in, says, you just won't be happy until you get your channel a content strike. If Side Scrolls gets shut down, what else will I watch when I'm on the toilet? See,
you'll see us on Rumble
or on sidescrollerspodcast.com.
That's right.
She missed Digimon Adventure, Blabs Inferior. I mentioned that. I mentioned that for the
Temple Run
2.
2.
Oh, thanks, Blabs. Don't forget to put the header on top once you clear that up. Kyle says, is he getting chased by? Oh God, Kyle. All right.
Wow.
Damn. Wow. All right. Lord, oh Lord. I don't even know where to go today. It is Finish Strong Friday. I'm very excited
only
to
up.
see. Yes, only up. Only up. With that said, we do have a lot to get to, so let's get into it, friends. It's time for my favorite segment, your favorite segment, everybody in the world's favorite segment. It's time for news. I simply have. I saw Blaz like, you didn't do it right, and she did this, and she walked off for a second.
I turned the fan on. It's not like I was mad. You're like, oh, you idiots! I'm leaving.
All right, we have this. I guess Blabs got really excited because we have an old school Genesis ad to start our show today. This should be fun. I'm not logged into Instagram, Blabs, but hey, we can at least show it on a tiny screen. Let's see what we got here.
For Disney's Aladdin for my Sega Genesis.
Oh.
It's like the movie. I got to battle sword slashing.
Oh man, I remember this.
Nasty palace.
Super Nintendo version's better.
Yeah, dude.
Whoa. Okay, we're about to get in a fight. Let's see what
Yeah,
happens.
I said that.
Okay, here we go.
Stars and ride a flying carpet. And I still have 2 more wishes. Prove it.
I remember that commercial.
Man, I love Sega. Oh, that's so good. Blabs, you wanted to talk about that because
I just liked it. I'd never seen it, so.
Well,
oh wait, that's right. You're like
you weren't,
12.
Yeah, you weren't alive when that came out, Blabs.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
I just thought it was really cool to see, and I put it in there as like a little reaction video. You're welcome. Look, even Eric is happy. He goes Sega.
Dude,
So
so many commercials in the 90s were great. The creative use of Dutch angles and wide angle lenses and stuff, and wackiness in commercials. I miss all that.
You're looking at it from a technical perspective, right? And I appreciate that, because a lot of people say a lot of those commercials in the 90s were great, and they say it from a nostalgia perspective, right? But you're saying it from an actual technical production perspective, and that's pretty fun to see.
Nostalgia as well, because they don't make it like that anymore, I've noticed.
No. You know, it's funny. This is a legit question. Do they you don't see a whole lot of video game ads on TV nowadays.
Well, that's true. The industry
everything's
landscape
YouTube.
is changing so much.
Yeah. You don't see a whole lot of video game ads on TV. You know, I do occasionally, like my kids will watch some Nickelodeon stuff or some, like something on demand. And maybe every once in a while you get a pre-roll for some generic mobile game or something. But
I've seen stuff for Switch if you're watching because I don't watch regular TV. I watch Pluto, and they'll throw Nintendo ads in there, but that's about it. Those are the only things I've ever seen.
Yeah, Nintendo does do a pretty good job of advertising to that audience. So, but there's definitely that time. So I was 12 years old in 1993.
I was 10.
You were 10. So 12 years old, in
Negative
1993.
3.
I know, Blabs. I know you weren't
good
even
God.
You weren't even thought about at this point. But looking back on those commercials, if you were to power rank 90s video game commercials, the probably top one for me would be Nintendo. Nintendo does, or Sega does.
Sega does what Nintendo don't.
Yeah, that's probably the top one, followed by maybe the Smash Brothers. So happy together. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
John, you got any off the top of your head?
Well, I just remember Sega in general was particularly effective on my parents, which was the reason I ended up being like a Sega kid to start off with, because they were like, what system do we get them? And Sega had the extreme marketing, the cool commercials, plus it was like $30-$40 cheaper for the hardware. So they're just like, fuck it, let's get that. And
also
the screaming Sega. Yeah. The screaming Sega, the welcome to the next level. I thought that was a really cool element of it. And their whole angle was like, they knew Nintendo was like the top dog at the time. And their whole approach was just like shitting on Nintendo, it felt like, which is pretty funny.
Well, yeah. And I think when you are looking up at the big gun, you gotta shit on them, right? Like you gotta go. There's the old saying about when you're number 2, you use all the resources you can to get to number 1, and then when you get to number 1, you have to. You're not allowed to use those tactics anymore, right? Because it's the old punching down thing, which I think is stupid as fuck. But it's I love it, man. That was good era for sure. I would love to see that era of like now all the companies are like glad handing each other, and it's great to work with PlayStation, it's great to work with Xbox,
right.
Hey, you can, and it's all one and the same. Where you look back at those Crash Bandicoot commercials where he's standing outside the Nintendo of America, and he's like, "Hey, come on out, plumber boy," And,
you guys remember the "You Are Not Ready" campaign from Sony?
Yeah.
That was my first introduction to PlayStation. You are not ready, and I was like, I don't get. Oh, the E is red.
Right.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you don't remember the "You Are Not," and then the E was red. It said "You Are Not," and the E was red. You are not ready.
Hold on, I'm pulling that up right now, because I'm very vague on that right now. I'm trying to remember what exactly you're talking about. I remember it vaguely, but here
back in what was it, 95, 96? They had this big caravan that would travel throughout the states, and you'd be able to get in this big trailer looking thing and play all the PlayStation games. And I remember them having that right plastered across the side. You are not ready.
All right, here we go. Check this out. This is the end of this. What did the red E have to do with anything? That's what I'm trying to lost.
Ready. It's just ready for sure.
A red E. Ha ha! I'm a fucking idiot. All right. Okay. Great stuff. Hey, you know what's awesome? Seth Trollins, my boy, coming in, dropping the 50 right off the bat. Blabs says there was a lot of peak video game commercials, even well into the mid-aughts. Hey, look at that. Sorry about that, Logan. Sorry about that, John. You get exposed to the...
I don't think John's complaining.
Oh, no.
No,
not
boobs.
It says,
I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention to what you were saying.
I know. Well, Seth says there was a lot of peak video game commercials, even well into the mid-aughts. The one I always think about is the last Odyssey commercial for the Xbox 360, playing the song White Rabbit. Made me want to get that game on that alone. Yeah, man. Hey, Seth, thank you so much. Appreciate that. Always love going down the nostalgia rabbit hole with you. It's spectacular. All right. Young Stove says, Ice Scrollers. I had Super Nintendo and Genesis growing up. My Sega was the jam and still can't wait for the new Shinobi and Streets of Rage 5 and Golden
Super
Axe.
Nintendo was better.
I agree. I definitely agree. That's the thing is like people are still today are super tribal about that. Like when you look objectively at the Super Nintendo versus the Genesis from a sales perspective, from a power perspective, from a games perspective, like, yes, Sega had some great hits, but overall, the Super Nintendo was objectively better, right?
Oh, yeah.
It
had I agree with that. Time.
You agree with that, John?
Yeah. Even though I started on Sega, it took me a while to get around to Nintendo. But even then, I knew, like, the system is awesome. Like, I would play it at my friends' houses. And just, like, it was great.
I said, there are still people today hanging on to that bias they had when they were 10 years old about the Super Nintendo versus the Genesis. They're like, fuck you for liking Super Nintendo. It's pretty awesome.
Sega sucks.
Yeah. Darth Sis says, hey, gang, Blabs, have you looked into Starlink? Does it even work out in Narnia?
I've not looked into Starlink, no.
Oh, okay. Cryptic came in with a 20. Says, as a yellow man, I find that this goal racist. Cryptic, Montez. That's all we're going to say about that. You need to get Montez out. Do you guys know about Montez? Have you guys seen Montez on the show?
The name is familiar.
Ago? 3 days ago?
Yeah. Well, we'll get. Hopefully, we hit our super chat goal, and we'll bring you guys Montez because it's important to educate.
I missed yesterday.
Well, we got to educate all of our guests about Montez on the show. So,
John looks concerned.
Yeah. Mercenary says, I can't log into the side scrollers locals account. Have maybe try resetting your account.
It's the same as your Rumble.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That is true. They're doing a one login thing over there. Yeah. Seb says, hi everyone. I'm watching Mega Man Goes to Willamette back and now Digital Fear is on the podcast. What That's a glow up. John, our guy who gone leave me nostalgic. Thanks for all you do. Look at that.
Oh, thanks very much, man. Mega Man Goes to Willamette was a series I did. I took cutscenes from Dead Rising and Frank West having the Mega Man suit on in the cutscenes and just dubbed over them. And yeah, it was ridiculous.
It's great. I love it. I love that people still call back to your classic stuff or your Digital Fear.
Yeah. They won't let me forget it.
Ever. Hey, Mystery says, one more for the Montez goal. Montez, let's go. B. Barrett says, yo mama's so ugly, not even Whomping Willow would hit that.
Oof.
It's pretty good.
Shinmu Owen says, hey, Craig, you used to say that you got the name Stuttering Craig because talks over himself, Craig, didn't have the same ring to it. But recently you said you actually overcame a stutter. Did you only stutter as a kid? Did you outgrow it? Thanks. I would say I never really... Okay, there are people who stutter, and it's like a real medical thing. I would say I just had a hard time speaking, and I still have a very hard time speaking today. But as Blabs knows, which is always a good thing when you host a podcast for a living. So,
like just being shy and nervous as opposed to having like a neurological thing, right?
Yeah, I would say that's fair. Really kind of talking under your breath and blah, 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 that type of thing, as opposed to
it's more like tripping over your words.
Lot of tripping, and it takes a lot of concentration to speak correctly most of the time, which I'm still.
And then it's also a lot of concentration to hit the unmute button for Craig as well.
I mute it every time I go for a drink, and then I forget sometimes on the way back because
Yes.
I have a straw. I have a straw in a cup, and it just the way it's placed, it conveniently blocks the mute button, which I'm going to move that right now. So I'm moving that. You're changing my entire desk setup over here, Blabs.
You're welcome.
Okay, let's move on. Hey, you guys always hear the expression "don't feed the birds" when you're around the birds? You guys ever heard that before?
No, it's feed the birds. Tuppence a bag.
No. Don't feed the birds.
Mary Poppins.
Yeah. Well, it's very much advised when you're out at the beach or whatever, you do not feed the birds. Do you guys know why you don't feed the birds?
They attack you.
John? Any ideas?
They come back, I'm thinking.
Well, we're about to find out here, as this is why you do not feed the birds. Yes.
I'll give you a little cracker. Here. There you go.
Please bite the crap out of her.
Look at this tiny little thing.
Please bite the living crap out of her.
Yeah.
What is wrong with you? It's an adorable little bird. Why should he beat the crap out of her?
No, the bird.
Yeah.
The bird bite the hand off.
Why? Yeah, why would you want that?
Have you ever seen a cockatoo?
Yes.
Have you ever seen what they can do?
Yes.
Okay, then I want to see it.
Here we go. Let's see what they do here.
There you go. Don't bite me, please.
A few moments later.
The whole game.
There's so many of them.
Ow!
Got it. There we go. Logan got it right there. Right. Love that. So next time you're on vacation, please don't feed the birds. It went from 1 to probably 75 birds. It's amazing.
Dude, I love the idea that the one bird went to his buddies and she's just like, you got to check out this chick. She's got crackers.
Right.
How do they communicate that?
I love it. I love the idea too. Whether it's their squawking or whatever it is. Yeah. They all just knew. They all knew to come back. So
yeah,
love it. Ian, look at this. It says, why is Craig's straw in the wrong position? See, now Ian's pissed. Look what you did, Blabs. We changed the straw. We moved the straw. And now Ian's just really upset. I'm not upset at that, though. Thank you, Ian, for that wonderful support.
What do you mean straw's in the wrong position?
Blabs, I just told you.
Yeah, but like...
I moved the straw.
But now it's in the right position.
No,
it was clearly in the wrong position before.
It has been moved, and now it's in the wrong
And
position.
now it's been corrected.
Now Ian's pissed. Look what you did.
It's been corrected.
Look what you did.
Look what you did, you little shit.
Am I the only one that thinks that graphics should have sound effects?
We could.
Yes, we could, but then we like talking too. So like it's like a double whammy.
Yeah. Talking poorly. Hey, Taker came and says, John, rumor is Master Chief Collection on Switch 2.
Yeah, I heard about that. I mean, in RB and the Chief, I remember writing jokes like years and years ago about console exclusivity just going away because I could just see that was the logical outcome. It doesn't bother me, Chief being like multi-platform. The only thing that makes me sad is like this is what Microsoft has to do to get success with Halo because they have no idea how to fucking manage that IP.
So Halo right now, yeah, it's a mess.
Yeah,
343 was a disaster of a decision.
Right, and they have no idea what to do going forward. The only thing they have is like
charge.
Yeah, and they're just leaning on the Unreal thing, like Unreal 5, everybody, and it's just
who cares?
Yeah, so.
Do you collect some rings over there? What's going on?
My phone has sonic noises on it. Okay.
That's adorable.
Speaking of adorable, look, I just put this in the run sheet as I hate to laugh, but every time I watch this video, every time I've seen a video like this, I laugh my ass off, and I wanted to share this with you guys. Have you guys seen? Do you guys know where this is going?
I love these compilations.
John looks like he has a pretty good idea. Let's find out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know about this.
The fuck?
Oh my god.
That's my favorite one, the boat.
Oh my god. Sorry. I shouldn't be laughing as hard as I am, but
No, I freaking love this.
So freaking funny.
It's hilarious. But the thing is, like, they're owning it, right? It's them participating in the joke. They own it. They laugh at it. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. I don't know if that's
before,
accurate.
yeah.
I don't know if that's accurate, Blabs. I think it may.
No, they are, because look at the one for the
with the
belt,
car.
right? With the gym and everything.
Yeah.
Like all these, like they are participating in this. It has to be, otherwise you can't splice them together.
A big part of the humor is just the editing itself.
It's pretty good.
It's cleverly done. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so funny to watch those things. I see that and I just giggle, and I know the size disparity between them. You shouldn't laugh at that stuff. But if you can't laugh at little people being in little helicopters, what can we really laugh at, guys? It's ridiculous.
Little people in little boats.
Little people, little boats. Little people, little helicopters. You got little guys getting sprayed by cologne. It's funny. Sorry, I wanted to share with you guys because I'm a bad person, and I like laughing at that stuff.
I like it. It's funny.
Thanks.
Apparently, we all are.
That's funny.
Impause came in and says, speaking of stuttering, have you guys seen those meme clips of stuttering folks on the tube? The comments are golden. And personally, Craig, I think you're doing great with your speech, friendo. Thank you very much, Impause. Doing my best. Shane came in and says, the rumor is that Montez is a Sega guy. He was playing the best game ever, Action 52, when his lady got slammed. With that said, his next game for Blabs should be Action 52. I don't know if we'll see what we can do about getting Blabs playing a game soon. I think that'd be good.
Craig really wants his therapy bucket back.
Boy, do I. El Rod came in with 10 for Montez. Says, give me some Montez. Hey, let's go, El Rod. Thank you very much. All right, we talked about movies yesterday, guys, and we talked about how often we get a chance to go to the movies. I don't know, guys, when was the last time you went to a movie?
Sonic 3.
Sonic 3?
Yeah, that was the last time I went as well.
Here, good.
No, Nosferatu. That was the last one I saw.
Sonic 3, banger, I hear. Pretty good.
Oh, really? You haven't seen Sonic 3?
I have not.
Oh, you're more of a Mufasa guy.
I have no.
You're more of a Mufasa guy. Who says that?
Yeah. I'm more of a Mufasa guy, Logan.
Of myself. How do you do, fellow Mufasa fans?
I saw some clips of that. I was like, no, thanks.
Punch you right in the throat. Right in the throat. It's going to be ridiculous. In Minecraft. I don't have a whole lot of interest in spending like $100 to take my family to go see a movie, because by the time you're all said and done, every ticket is like $20 now. You got to get popcorn. That's $20. You got to get a drink. That's $15. It's stupid. So by the time you're all said and done, you're spending a shit ton of money. But the popcorn bucket has been a big player in the world of it's been a big trend, and we've covered a lot of popcorn buckets in the last year on the show. I don't know if you guys have seen, there is a new popcorn bucket for the upcoming Captain America film. Have you guys seen this?
No, I don't want to.
You don't?
It's not Captain America.
No, it's not. It's Red Hulk. There's a wing shield container and a Red Hulk bust, which it looks like you can actually take the head off,
yeah,
and reach in and get the popcorn out.
Isn't that a bit weird? Let me just decapitate you for a second.
Kind of disturbing there.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that funny that they actually don't have Falcon there, but they have Hulk?
That is, you're right. So they keep the same thing with the Captain America shield, right? Because Chris Evans and everything, a nice little stagnant thing. And then they just put Red Hulk in there because that's the only thing people actually want to go see this movie for. Red Hulk.
Watch it.
Smart
I've seen every Captain America movie in the theaters day one. Nah,
no, I missed the first one in theaters. I saw the second and third one.
Yeah.
It's funny how Dune 2's weird ass bucket sort of revitalized interest in this whole.
No, actually, it was the Figment Dragon that started all with Disney.
I have that.
What dragon? What movie was that from?
I don't think it was anything. It was just like an anniversary or an event or something.
Okay.
It was the every year Disney has the Festival of the Arts, and they released it about 2 to 3 years ago for Festival of the Arts.
4 years.
Right.
2021.
Wasn't it Flower Garden or whatever it was? Whatever. It's like some special event that Disney does.
Figment is the one that they use for Festival of the Arts.
Okay. Yeah. So Figment did started all.
I live like 15 minutes away. We go to the thing quite often.
He's like, I get dragged every day.
Well, is anybody have any interest in going to pick up the Red Hulk popcorn bucket?
No.
Only MCU stands will get it. That's
John,
really it.
You're not pre-ordering the Red Hulk popcorn bucket?
Yeah, I'm pre-ordering it right now. No, dude, I have no interest in that shit.
I couldn't even find a price for it. Not available yet. So.
Well, you can go pick it up at Regal Cinemas if anybody's interested. All right, let's move on to our next story here. I didn't know who this lady was until I knew who this lady was, if that makes sense.
It's usually how it works.
Yeah. Actress Joan Plowright died at the age of 95. Blabs over here saying, rest in peace.
Well, it's true. Like you see her everywhere, but you just didn't know her face. But she was an actual dame, right? Like she was in that documentary, Dame Maggie Smith, or like Tea with the Dames and everything. Like she's one of them. Like she was top dog.
You know how I know her? Go ahead, John.
I know her from Dennis the Menace. She's the mother or the grandmother.
That's right. That is right.
She's so good in it too. And Walter Matthau, he's just like had it with the kid, and she's always like, "Oh, you're such a jerk." Like he's just playing. Like
she was Mrs. Wilson, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. She was Dennis the Menace is where I know her from, as well as she was in Last Action Hero, and she was also in the live action 101 Dalmatians in 1996.
She was also in Tea with Mussolini, which is the one I remember her being in.
What are you talking about, huh?
Tea with Mussolini? That's a movie with Cher, Maggie Smith. It's in the 90s. She was in that movie too.
She was also in the 19. Yeah, I'm just gonna floss over that.
Nobody's ever seen Tea with Mussolini?
No.
All right, well.
She was also in the 1996 classic starring Ellen DeGeneres and Bill Pullman, Mr. Wrong.
Dude, I've never seen this movie in my life. Was it good?
Well, it was a work of fiction as Ellen DeGeneres was straight in it.
Yeah.
So
that's what made it funny.
So there's that. And she was all about Bill Pullman in that movie. So anyways, rest in peace there, Joan Plowright. You will be missed for your work.
Plowright or Plowright?
Plowright?
Plowright sounds funnier.
Just call her Dame if you can't do it. That's what I do. Like, Dame. It's the best way to be polite.
Call her Joan. That's what
she's a dame. Respect, bro.
What does that mean? What does a dame mean?
A dame.
What does that mean?
John, you're part of that world. Go on, explain. You're Canadian.
Isn't it sort of like being knighted?
Yeah.
In Britain? Yeah.
Yes.
Just like the sort of female end of that.
Yeah, it's the female version of a knight.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dame.
Yeah, I'll call her Joan.
Dame.
Yeah, okay. Joan it is. Nathan says, ha ha ha, oh, you're offended? Then I'll laugh harder. See, there you go. That's how you do it, Nathan. Like it. Rod says, short jokes are mean. Be a bigger man, Craig. Let's go.
Hey.
Hey, Miku says, RB and the Chief Montez version. Well, let's get to Montez today, and we'll see if we can make that happen with Noodles is right. The Battle Tank 64 commercial was hilarious. Did you guys ever see that?
A long time ago.
I don't remember that commercial, but Battle Tanks is sick.
Oh man, that actually spawned a meme back at Screw Attack. That commercial, Battle Tanks. That actually spawned an entire little meme for sure. Here we go. I got this pulled up. Courtesy of look at this. If this doesn't throw nostalgia at you immediately, look at this here. Got the IGN intro.
Wow.
Yeah, here we go. Watch this.
A bear, barely alive. Gentlemen, we can rebuild it. We have the technology. We can make him stronger, faster, softer, better. The new battle tanks, global assault. Stronger.
Global Assault, wasn't that second one?
I did not see that.
Global
bear
Assault was the
dying.
sequel. 64 is the first one.
Yeah, I remember renting that from Blockbuster.
You guys want to watch? You want to watch another one?
Yes.
Because why not? Oh, this is the one I remember. This is the one that yeah, here we go. All right, check this bad boy out. Oh, this is great stuff. Thanks for this.
For the brightest colors always. What the?
Introducing battle tanks for Nintendo 64.
Holy shit.
Explosive tank action for up to 4 players.
Battle tanks.
Just
Wild.
fucking brilliant. Don't you want to go out and play that game right now, Blabs?
Actually, yeah, that was cool. I like the bear dying.
You know
Didn't
what? I'm just
expect
gonna
that.
go grab it. No.
Oh, just fucking brilliant. I mean, they truly don't advertise like that today. I mean, it was awesome.
No, it's shot so creatively, like where he hops over the washing machine. You have that one camera shot pointing up between them and sort of jumps it over it like it's a rooftop chase or something. Like, that's so cool. It's such a quick shot, but you notice and appreciate it.
John, I'm gonna need to hire you for all side scrollers advertising moving forward. You're gonna be our director and creative director when it comes to this stuff. I'll come up with the crazy ideas. You just go in and you find a way to implement them. Sound good?
Yeah. Okay.
Yay.
Sure.
Tired. Sounds all right. Okay. We spent a lot of time talking about the Switch 2 yesterday, and there's been a lot of back and forth about this thing. For the most part, I'd say the mainstream media in the video game space, the traditional access media, has had a response of like, what happened, Nintendo? I saw GameSpot had an article about that, like that yesterday, and a couple other outlets that were saying just like, remember when Nintendo used to challenge us or surprise us? And it was like, oh, you fucking idiots. But I saw this tweet about it. You know, actually, before we get to that tweet, Logan, I'd love to hear your thoughts about the Switch 2.
Okay. So I'm not too far from the kind of idea about it, but we really don't know too much. But I will say that trailer, and I put this on my video, Wii U vibes. Yes, Wii U vibes. Mainly because people are going to be, unless they do something different with the cartridges or the boxes, you're going to get people getting confused buying Switch 2 stuff thinking it's going to work on their Switch 1, and then you're going to have parents doing stupid decisions, people getting upset that this doesn't work here, that doesn't work. This is coming from someone who worked gaming retail for many years, so that's how I looked at it. But if you step back and just go, oh, Nintendo's playing it safe. They sold, what, 160 million, whatever it was, units of the Switch, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's pretty much what they're going, and they're going to sell millions more. So if you look at it that way, yeah, it's a smart thing, but I'm just hoping, what was it, April, what was it, 20-something? Second?
Yeah.
They tell us more and show us the boxes, the carts, you know, just the whole marketing around it, so people don't go, oh, it's the same thing, or, oh, all this can work on my old one. And that's really the, I guess you could say, the approach I took to it.
So allow me to kind of counter that, if
Okay.
you will, right? There's precedent for this. It's called the PlayStation. The PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, all the way to PlayStation 5 now, and PlayStation 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 and 10 and whatever, right? I think that what they're doing here, and this actually brings up, this is actually a really good transition to this this next point, and I'll kind of look at this tweet here. This is from Andy Robinson, who is a games journalist.
Ugh.
He says, Switch 2, almost certainly the last generation of the original Famicom creators. He lists them off. All at near retirement age, with many approaching 60. End of an era. And I looked at that, I was like, you're damn right. I said, this is actually a great point. We've seen many instances where people are fans of whatever company, only to realize that the people who made you fans of that company originally were no longer there at that company. And as a result, the company suffered. Going in on the Switch design actually puts Nintendo in a safe direction for their transition to newer talent / creatives. When these original creatives leave, I hope Nintendo doesn't become one of those companies where we say, remember when they made good games, right?
Agreed.
John, do you have any thoughts on that?
I have the feeling that Nintendo is a company that's distinctly good at fostering their talent and like instilling like the philosophy that's made them successful for so long into new people. And yeah, I see them still being in a good place for the foreseeable future. And I get what you mean by the Wii U thing, but the Wii U to me, like I think the biggest wave that Wii U fucked up from my perspective is just looking at it first glance, and I just got the feeling like, what the fuck is that even? Like, the function of it wasn't that clear. With this, the Switch 2, the function seems quite clear. And it's a design that it makes sense to stick with. Like the fact that you have immediately 2 controllers for offline play to play with your buddy or whatever. Like it just makes a lot of sense to stick with it, at least for the time being, before moving on to something perhaps more advanced and different hardware-wise later on.
When you go and you look at the Wii U in particular, like I think the Wii U was almost a prototype for the Switch.
Right.
It's very similar, right? But they didn't have all the functionality ready. And I said this a couple times in the show, but I think what Nintendo is doing by putting a numeral behind the Switch is they're saying this is our console moving forward, right? I think there'll be a Switch 3. I think there'll be a Switch 4. I think there'll be a Switch 8. Because
that's actually my problem with it. That's never been Nintendo's MO. And it's just growing up with Nintendo, it kind of rubbed me the wrong way that they just took the lazy way out and said, oh, we're just going to call it 2. I'm like,
well, let me tell you why.
It works, but
so let me tell you why. Because I feel they've perfected. I feel that they've perfected the video game console, right? Everything that you do that you can do on the Switch is everything you need to do. You can take it on the go. You can plug it into your home. You can connect your controllers. You can remove your controllers. You can play with the regular control. Like from a video game perspective, you don't, the idea of the headset for VR doesn't matter to Nintendo, right? All they're doing is at this point is refining what they've already perfected. And I think that's the way they're looking at this is they're like, we did it. This is exactly what we want. And if you look at the iterations of every console, that's been what's happened literally from the start. You go from the NES controller to the Super Nintendo controller, the leap in graphics there, the leap in the controller, the Super Nintendo onto the N64, the going from 2D to 3D, and now you have the three directional controller. You go from that to the GameCube, and the GameCube kind of going more back to the dog bone controller, going from the N64, the GameCube to the Wii, where you now all of a sudden you have motion controls. Then you go to the Wii U and they're like, well, we think we nearly have this thing, right? You can play not just on your device, but you can also play on your TV, but you can also play on your device. And we're going to have the DS aspect of it where you have the dual screens. Then you go from that to the Switch and they're like, we fucking nailed it. We hit it. This is it right here. Because I mean, and I'm talking about the home consoles. That doesn't even include the handhelds. Like the handhelds themselves are, those are technological wonders as well. And they did the exact same thing. And I think that's what you see with the Switch is this is everything that Nintendo has ever done in the video game market optimized for what they as a company want to do. And I've said this before. Nintendo doesn't make video games. They make Nintendo games. and I think that those are different. They're different than what you see on the market, and that's what makes Nintendo.
See, I like where you went with that. I really agree with what you're saying overall. It's I can understand the different perspectives because again, someone working with the consumers, that was my perspective, and you're coming at it as a totally different angle, and I definitely respect that. I think that's a very great approach to it.
Thanks. John, you got any thoughts on that?
That covers up what I said in my video yesterday. That's why.
I think with the PS3 360 Wii generation, it made more sense for Nintendo to try something a bit different with the Wii controller. And even I was just like, yikes, what are they doing at the time? But then I played a few games on it, and I was just like Resident Evil 4, I think still has the best, or it's the best version of Resident Evil 4 is still on the Wii, because it just plays so well. But now it's like, I think they would be silly to move away from the design that they've achieved from the Switch one. It doesn't make sense to be sort of different and out of the box in the same way that they were with the Wii back then. Now it's just like, with the way everything is going in terms of like handheld gaming and stuff, you know, the Steam Deck and all these like retro handhelds coming out and detaching from the television, like you don't want to get rid of that, you know.
But the thing is so huge. If you look at the size difference in the video, how is that going to really help the younger audience?
They play on iPads already. They already have big ass devices, you know. Like,
do you think this thing's going to be that much heavier than an iPad, though?
No, I think it'll be. I think it'll be just, you know, maybe a fractionally more heavier than the Switch.
Okay.
You know, technology's changed, and it's gotten more optimized since the 7-8 years since the Switch began manufacturing. So, well, we do have some new leaks about the Switch 2, and this is courtesy of Reddit. Which, hey, it is what it is. And there's always look. Everybody has an uncle who has a brother who knows the dog whose uncle sister works at Nintendo, right? We've all been there. Fun story. That's actually how I learned remember back in Street Fighter 2, the first time Street Fighter 2 was released, and you could have the mirror match code, which is down R up LYB on the Super Nintendo.
Wow.
I actually did have a friend whose uncle worked for Nintendo, and we actually knew that code before it was mainstream, which was pretty cool. So, cool. But we do have. You said, "Wow, dude!" That just triggers some nostalgia for you.
Yeah.
Let's go. All right. So speaking of these Switch 2 leaks, and let's take these with a grain of salt, as always, because we're all speculating here. Because we can do that shit. New Switch 2 leaks: Mario Odyssey, Breath of the Wild, 1080p handheld, 2K docked at 60 frames per second, right? And this would be through this upscaling technology that Nintendo patented for here. And so Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild go 1080p for the first time, and 2K, not 4K, but 2K docked. The price is the big one. So right now, currently, they're thinking $399, but in the States, that could change if the tariffs go through. And
so this is USD, yeah?
Yeah, this would be USD, yes. And they're saying it's going to be launching in June. And the other thing is that they're going to be bumping up Nintendo Switch Online from $50 to $70. So I saw you kind of perk up a little there, Blabs.
It's a lot. I'm glad I don't pay for mine. That's all I'm saying.
I think that Nintendo bumps that up because they're going to offer more things. And
yeah,
I think
most likely.
Right.
And I think the initial thing is
GameCube games.
Bingo. Yep. You nailed it. And I think they're going to, for the first time, open up the N64 library even further and really dig into the GameCube games for the first time, for sure. The Nintendo Direct will showcase Breath of the Wild on Switch and Switch 2, so that they want to do like a side-by-side, so you can really see the back and forth running on both consoles to highlight the differences. And they said the launch games will be Metroid Prime 4, Breath of the Wild Remastered, which is odd, Mario Kart 9, Tekken 8, and Elden Ring.
Yeah, I don't see that.
No?
Nah. I think those games are a bit of a reach.
The Breath of the Wild remastered thing seems really unlikely to me. I don't see the value in doing that. I don't see where the hike would be, like, because Breath of the Wild already has a simplistic art style the way it exists, and like if you were to run Breath of the Wild on the Switch 2 with the sort of AI, spoofing frames to artificially increase the frame rate and the high resolution, and it already has a simplistic art style baked into it, where is the remaster come into play exactly? Like that, I don't buy.
I think that's one of the things that Nintendo's done very well is they've actually future-proofed a lot of their games. I go back to the what's the Zelda game where he's on the ocean? What's that called?
Wind Waker.
Wind Waker, right? You go back to the art style on that on the GameCube, and yes, they did a remaster of it, and yes, it looked great, but you didn't really need it. That art style was timeless, and I think Nintendo does a very good job of making their games cartoony and fun, and not trying to keep up with the latest and greatest when it comes to graphics. I mean, where Zelda's at right now, it's about as realistic as I want it to get. It's like I have no interest in it getting more realistic than this. The characters are kind of they're elfish, nymphy, whatever, but they still have cartoonist characteristics, and the world itself, it's funny when you look at like Zelda, the world itself is fairly, realistic in its look and aesthetic, but the characters in it, the life in it, they all have cartoony, characteristics, which I think is what really makes the game and the art style unique. So
Wind Waker's a great example because it is a timeless art style. I actually thought the HD remaster was a bit of a step down. I don't think it looks bad, but I just noticed that a lot of the color was drained out of it, and there's like maybe a little too much bloom and fog, where it was just like, it feels like there's just this sort of gray layer over the oversaturation of the original product that I really liked.
Well, there's more here, as there was a lot of leaks leading up to the Switch 2, and every single one of those leaks pretty much nailed exactly what the Switch 2 was when it was announced yesterday. True. And if you recall back at Jeff Keighley's award show, they finished with the announcement of a new Okami. Do you recall that?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, and Jeff Keighley was like, it's Okami. I'm so, it was pretty funny. But the Okami creator came out, and he's had some very, very strong words for those leakers. And Blabs, I'd like for you to read this in an Asian accent, please. I'd really appreciate that. Blabs, if you could. Yeah, if you would, please read this in an Asian.
That's above my pay grade. Thanks.
You won't read that in an Asian accent?
I don't even know how to. I'm not very good at that.
Like a samurai.
Yeah, do it like a samurai.
I think Logan should do it. He volunteers his tribute.
Nope.
What are we doing here?
Why don't you do it, Craig? It was your idea.
Craig, yeah.
Go on, Craig.
It's your channel.
Yeah.
I don't speak Japanese. He said, I hope all the people who leaked Switch 2 information and those who helped leak it. I honestly don't know. I was just trying to put Blabs under the fire, and she
nice try, brother.
Okay. I hope all those people who leaked Switch 2 information and all those who helped leak it will be cursed for the rest of their lives to always have poop on the soles of their shoes when they get home. The worst of scum. They should have covered. They should be covered in shit from head to toe and thrown out of the atmosphere, and then stop thinking and wander forever. They need to be crushed as soon as possible.
So I can't help thinking they're not being serious. Like it's so extreme. I feel like they're joking.
It does sound like something you'd hear in an anime.
Yes,
because I don't even see the big deal with the leaks anyway. It's just like, that's like, are they really that damaged by this? Like I just don't see. I don't see it.
I think it's more of personal thing for them. Like, God damn it, we worked so hard to keep this under wraps, and then it got leaked, and so angry, you know, like you work really hard and somebody else leaks it all. I see it from that perspective. I don't really see how, like, financially wise it does any damage.
Yes, I agree with that. That loss of control, where it's just like, God damn it, we're the ones who put out new information about our products, not
when
just
we want to
fucko.
release it, we'll tell you, kind of deal. Not like,
What seems a little funny to me is I work with a couple of the companies. I guess you could say some of the companies that send me products, and they've been part of the leaks. They don't seem to give a crap.
Oh no.
Like, not even in the slightest. They haven't removed anything from social media, nothing from their contacts, none of that. I'm like, yeah, they don't seem to give a crap.
Yeah, it's pretty funny because, and I think you guys are right. It's about controlling the message, and Nintendo historically has done a very good job of them being the arbiter of their message. They're the ones who are, let's not forget, back up a decade ago, and nobody was doing something like a Nintendo Direct. Right, you go back then, and E3 still going and blowing, right? And Nintendo said, "No, we're just gonna control that information ourselves and put it how we want to do. We're not going to allow anybody to mess up on stage. We're just going to be able to do our own Nintendo Directs on our timeline and our calendar." And you know what? They've been extremely successful at that, extremely. So I did see that there was a story where there's these former Nintendo people who work for Nintendo. They have a podcast now. It's like Kit and something, Kit and Krista.
Yeah.
And they're like, internally, Nintendo's very upset about this. It's like, yeah, no fucking shit. Like
I saw that. I was like,
yeah, dude. Like, what are we doing?
In other news, the water is wet.
Right. Sounds good. So we'll pray for the Okami creator for that, and if he can work through his anger issues, hoping that people will wander forever for leaking this Nintendo Switch 2 news. Can you imagine in some ethereal plane where these people are walking forever, looking down at their souls, wondering what is next as they continue to walk through this vast wasteland of nothingness? And then they finally find somebody and they say, "Why are you here?" He says, "I leaked the Nintendo Switch 2 news." Like, just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And Nate the Hate, look what you brought upon yourself, an eternity of shit on your souls and walking aimlessly. So, all right,
it was just one of the punishments. If it was just one of the punishments they listed off, I might think like, oh man, they're pissed. But it's like, shoot them into space and cover them in shit and crush them. Like, in what order? In that order?
I was like, what order?
All of those things, huh? Like, you really hate those guys.
It's where we're at now, man. And this guy is taking it very seriously. All right, and then we have this. Speaking of Nintendo, and emulation has been a very big part of their stance, and we never really quite understood what their stance was until today, where after shutting down several popular emulators, Nintendo admits emulation is legal. And you may perk your eyes up a little bit, your eyebrows up, and go, "Hey, what are they talking about here?" Here's the TLDR of it. The top IP lawyer at Nintendo agreed that emulators are technically legal at a panel for IP. They run afoul in the law when they bypass encryption, recreate copyrighted programs, or point users to pirated material. And we know that Nintendo team has been aggressively pursuing emulation projects for years. So they understand, but once again, they go like, as soon as you touch our IP or our copyrighted products, that's where we're going to fuck you up. And historically, they have. You guys got anything on that?
Well, they're a bit hypocritical with their stance on emulation. I mean, it's in their interest to officially consider it legal because they've profited off of it. I mean, those miniature NES or SNES consoles that they released were running RetroArch. Like, it wasn't obvious that it wasn't on the box or anything, but you could put in a specific controller command and go into the RetroArch root menu. And
really,
I think, Yeah.
Wow.
And they've had events where they display old games, and they have. I think it was proven that they had emulation software running to generate those.
You know, you bring that up, and we were
Yeah,
talking. Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah.
Right there.
This actually has over 200 plus games on it right now.
Did you hack that? Because I did.
No, I did not. My best friend did.
Oh, okay. It's funny because I remember when we were there was the video from the Nintendo Museum that where
Oh yeah,
and someone unplugged the controller and it made the Microsoft Windows sound of the game is playing and they unplug the controller and it's like ding 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 whatever and it's like oh shit just kind of funny to see. So
right.
Well, more Nintendo Switch 2 news coming soon. I'm sure we'll get all of that, and it'll be great. Can't wait. I'm really excited for the Nintendo Switch 2. Yes, I'm a giant Nintendo jerk, and I love it.
Makes two of us.
I know it's stupid. One would say you're almost a Nintendo nerd, if you will. Yes,
what you did there.
All right, let's talk TikTok. Hey, John, you like TikTok?
Not really. People tell me to get on it. Have no interest.
No interest in TikTok.
Same.
No.
I mean, I know about it. I know how it works. I know the algorithm is very sophisticated, but I just not drawn to it.
Well, we all know about the ban that's coming. It's been a nonstop thing that's been going on. Well, we have this from Dexerto. They have this article saying exclusive lawyer reveals risk of using TikTok with a VPN if the U.S. does impose the ban. Blabs, you read through the story, yeah?
Yeah, I skimmed it.
Okay, what's the give us the rundown on this?
Basically, if you use the VPN, you're in trouble. That's basically the TLDR.
According to who? The government?
Well, because you're using a VPN, so technically speaking, you're doing a workaround, and so it's illegal because it's supposed to be banned in the U.S.
Yeah, so like what they're saying is you can't use the app. So even if you use a VPN to reroute your traffic, you're still using the app. So
in the US,
right,
which you're not supposed to be doing.
Okay,
right.
Wow. How do you guys feel about the idea of banning TikTok?
Good.
You like the idea?
It's degenerate nonsense.
Well, so is YouTube.
Hey, good degenerate nonsense here.
Okay.
I'm not really for like banning things, right? But when it's like it's from China and it's programmed to like make us all stupid, whereas in China it's actually being used as a tool, educational tool, how to do math, things like that. It's like, it's a bit weird, And like technically speaking, we have our own TikTok in America with like Facebook and Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts. So like, why not just use those instead of giving China all this power,
In China, isn't TikTok called something else?
No, I think it's actually just called TikTok, but there's another version of TikTok there that they're trying to make relevant in America. It's actually in the document. Red Bite or something like that. Yeah.
I think Red Note is the one.
Yeah, we'll get to that in just a second.
Yeah, it's basically all about control, in my opinion. And like, I don't like the government overreaching and banning things, right? I'm not really for that. But I also don't really see a solution to TikTok either. Like, it's there, and it's like, I wish it wasn't there, right? I don't want it. I don't like it. Even though people are like, you should go on it, but it's like, I feel like it's like another form of addiction also. Like, too many social medias already as it is. Yeah, I'm not really for it.
Well, if John, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, similar stance. I don't like the idea of banning an efficient platform, but like the Chinese government makes me really nervous, and I don't like how different algorithms are used for different regions to do different things, and that part of it makes me nervous. I still don't know what the answer to this is, though, whether it should be banned or not.
Marmalin says TikTok is banned in China.
Is it?
Maybe do a little digging on that.
I think it's just like forms of it, isn't it? Like,
I don't know. But the idea is that if TikTok doesn't have a US-based owner by the 19th, which oddly enough is the day before inauguration, right? It's amazing how those things work out, that they're going to shut down. Well, here comes Mr. Beast saying, hey, drafted an offer to buy TikTok. after meeting with several billionaires, himself included, I'm sure. But they're not alone, because Kik actually did something similar. They drafted
I saw that.
They drafted an agreement as well. So now people are scurrying to try to go out and buy TikTok, and I have tremendously bad news for all of them. I actually, courtesy of X, I went out and I bought TikTok. So just want to let everybody know that. So I own TikTok now.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm finding like conflicting statements about TikTok in China. So I don't know.
Well, you mentioned all these people moving over to Red Note. And Red Note is this other TikTok alternative. And
correct.
Duolingo is a language learning app that allows you to, there's a free app, and you can buy like the, the advanced version of it and stuff, but it's very, very popular. Well, Duolingo has reported that they've seen a 216% increase in Mandarin Chinese learners in the US as TikTok users move to Red Note because, oh no. Poor Logan. What's wrong, Logan?
We're really that stupid, aren't we?
Thank you. Yeah.
But Disparu says, I do wonder whether America will continue to play whack-a-mole with foreign apps. And this is, I agree. You wonder if this is just if this is setting a really bad precedent. It says, or spend time thinking about where the void is in Western culture that is driving people around, and most abruptly, who is to blame for it? Yes, thank you, Disparu, for that. But we mentioned people moving from TikTok to Red Note. And look, we all know TikTok is there's a lot of brain rot on TikTok.
Cesspool.
You wonder like what's going to happen to the Libs of TikTok account.
Yeah.
Libs of Red Note.
Yeah. Libs of Red Note now. But people, all these American folks have been moving over to Red Note, and unfortunately for them, Red Note is now removing LGBTQ content and suspending accounts for it because they're finding that their Western ways just don't quite fly over in China. John, any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it's the thing about the whack-a-mole, I think, is accurate, because if you ban TikTok, I mean, another app's just going to come along and try to fill the vacuum and do the same thing. There's a more root issue to be attended with. Yeah, I don't know. The 200% increase thing, I think the number of users is still relatively small. And like, if that small number triples, that would be technically a 200% increase, which might make it sound bigger than it actually is.
Sure.
But
be from what, 100 to what, 300?
Right.
Yeah, something.
Yeah, so it's still technically the percentage is high, but
I mean, the amount of, even if it is a small number, like the amount of people willing to learn Mandarin to like get onto this new app just shows how drawn people are to TikTok because of how ruthlessly efficient their algorithms are in particular.
Man, that's a great word to say. Ruthlessly efficient.
Apparently that is the case. It is super efficient at figuring out what you want to see next.
But it is also interesting to see people's Western perspectives just being totally rejected. That's one thing you've seen for people over on Red Note. New American users go over there and they're like, "Oh shit! Look at all the homophobic and transphobic people over." And it's like, dude, you're so American, it's ridiculous. It's crazy. So it's almost like you don't know what's happening outside of your own house. It's crazy. Speaking of somebody who probably has no idea what's going on outside of his own house, Joe Biden came in with a statement about this and said Americans shouldn't I'll try to read like Joe Biden. Americans shouldn't expect to see TikTok just suddenly
The fart didn't even happen. That's so sad.
The fart didn't happen?
No. There it is.
All right, there we go. Joe Biden's administration is considering ways to keep TikTok in the United States. So this was yesterday. And then the Supreme Court came in this morning and was like, nope, we're going to uphold that ban. And
Nice.
the app will be banned in the U.S. on Sunday if not sold to its parent company. So here is the CEO actually responding to the Supreme Court's decision to uphold the ban. I have not seen this yet, so let's see what he has to say together.
Hi everyone, it's Show here. As you know, we have been fighting to protect the constitutional right to free speech for the more than 170 million Americans who use our platform every day to connect.
Blabs, we know what a samurai sounds like.
Chinese don't have a constitutional right. They're not Americans.
Well, they're fighting for 170 Americans, 170 million.
No, there are other platforms.
A platform every day to connect, create, discover, and achieve their dreams. On behalf of everyone at TikTok and all our users across the country, I want to thank President Trump for his commitment to work with us to find a solution that keeps TikTok available in the United States. This is a strong stand for the First Amendment and against arbitrary censorship. As we've said, TikTok is a place where people can create communities, discover new interests, and express themselves, including over 7 million American businesses who earn a living and gain new customers using our platform. We are grateful and pleased to have the support of a president who truly understands our platform, one who has used TikTok to express his own thoughts and perspectives, connecting with the world and generating more than 60 billion views of his content in the process. To all
It's not his thoughts. He doesn't have thoughts.
Oh, the hypocrisy of this dude.
I just want to point out, so a little update. He is from Singapore, the CEO. He's Singaporean, not Chinese.
No, I just put all Asian people in the same boat. No, I'm just kidding, Blabs.
Anyway, Jesus Christ. Also, okay, so TikTok is owned by Chinese, but they don't have TikTok. Like, it's actually, apparently it is banned in China from what I'm understanding. So isn't that ironic though? Like, it's banned in China where it was like, owned, but they really want it in America. That doesn't that seem suspicious? Just looking at that. Like,
they want to brainwash us, make us stupid.
That's
and
what
they
I'm saying.
succeeded.
Like, doesn't that like make you go, huh? Like, just taking everything aside, you just look at just that little statement. You're like, that's a bit weird. Anyway.
So the two-facedness of it all really irks me. Like having different algorithms for different regions to accomplish different things in terms of social engineering. If like someone bought TikTok and just made it like a broad open source algorithm for every region and made it transparent so you could see what code is running, like I wouldn't have a problem with the platform existing.
Well, maybe that's one of the things that Trump does is he's like, look, you can do this as long as it's the same algorithm everywhere, right? It's not built around, anti-American. Now, I want to play counterpoint to you guys. We've seen a lot of brain rot on TikTok, but we've also seen a lot of people be red pilled on TikTok. There's a lot of people who have used TikTok for good, right? And the idea that the government may be interested in shutting it down because it has done that, because it has red-pilled people, and it makes them a little more aware of their surroundings, and they're not getting their information from the corporate national media, U.S. sponsored state. I don't know. Just love to hear your thoughts on that perspective.
Who wants to go first? Because I've got opinions on this.
Go ahead, Logan. Go ahead.
Yeah, let me go.
So if you guys remember before, they would ban anything conservative. So Steven Crowder, Tim Pool, you name it, everybody was getting banned. Yeah. But once everybody realized, oh, Trump is going to win this, how about we unban, or how about we push the conservative viewpoint so maybe we don't look as bad because we don't want Trump, banning it or getting rid of it like he said he was originally going to do. Oh, now that you got Trump on your side, now it's okay. But all the crap we just forgot about the last, I don't know how many years of shutting down any dissenting voices. Nah.
Yeah. I don't like one side being uncool until something on that opposition side like breaks through, and then all of a sudden like, hey, the stuff that wasn't cool before is actually okay now. Like that, all that pisses me off.
How do we know they're not just going to flip flop again, in just another year or two and just go back to their old ways?
No.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it's very similar to like Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All these people I've politically donated to for over a decade are no longer in power, and I must save face now. That's literally what he did. But this also reminds me of Pride Month, right? Like they have all the algorithms for Europe and North America. Well, we love everybody, but then in the Middle East, it's
Saudi Arabia.
Silence. So it's like, algorithm, all about the algorithm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's I actually do see both perspectives on this, right? Some people are saying the government wants this ban because they want to, they want to control the message, right? And the other people saying, oh, well, we want to get rid of this because you don't want China controlling the message, right? So, the one thing I think everybody should agree on is what you don't want the government doing is opening the floodgates here and be like, yeah, sorry, you can't have that app anymore. Sorry, you can't have that app anymore. And deciding what
then
you
just
can.
snowballs.
Right.
Yeah.
So, that's kind of where we're at with all this. So I guess we'll find out by the time we're live on Monday if TikTok is actually still around.
Yeah, and don't forget, Kick wants to buy TikTok, which I thought that was funny too.
Yeah, we did.
Good luck with that.
Briefly mention that one. So, we'll find out, and maybe we should start our TikTok account on Saturday.
No thanks. I will no. Unless you put it in the system and everything, and I never have to see it. Then it's fine.
Okay, sounds good. All right, let's go ahead and move on. But before we do, we do have a lot of support here. Wasp says the TikTok alternative is actually called Red Book in homage to the Red Book, the Chinese Communist Manifesto authored by Mao Zedong. It's like saying, welcome to my new app named Mein Kampf. All right, thank you for that, Wasp. Yeah. Marvelin says, let's not forget Red Note is a little red book, aka homage. Yep, there you go. Marvelin also says TikTok is not available in China. Instead, Douyin by ByteDance, same owner of TikTok, is tailored to comply with Chinese laws and regulations, including content censorship and data privacy rules. Charitard says, I'll take that a step further, Craig. The Switch 2 is Nintendo's attempt to emulate Steam Deck as a PC tablet equivalent with the Joy-Con's mouse feature. Thank you for that, Charitard. Nathan says, I don't trust the U.S. federal government, but I trust the CCP even less, especially when you have weaponized brain rot like TikTok. Yeah. Bizarre Star says, and Craig, once I buy it, we'll call it Screw a Talk. That's funny. Ian says, Desert. Stuttering Craig, bid to purchase. Yes, that's right. I'm going to buy it.
For $1.
$1 US. Mercenary came in and says, Razorfist can confirm that it is banned in China. Spastic came in with a 20. That's excellent. It says, Power for Montez activate. Yeah, we're closing in. We're 6 yellows away. Let's get there. Victor came in and says, just went through Jonathan hates the anxious generation. And I'm even harsher on social media. Ban all of it. Make people interact IRL. Victor, I don't hate that idea. I really don't. I don't hate that.
We would all be gone.
I know. I've actually had this thought and gone through this entire thought exercise with myself multiple times. Right. I've said this before about this show. Right. I would like nothing more than to not have to do side scrollers and laugh at all the stupidity in the world, right? And as soon as the world becomes somewhat sane, then hey, maybe we'll have to readdress, because the idea was we're just going to point and laugh at all the stupidity. But the thing is, there's always stupidity, so it's great. But would I trade my career online, the 19 years that I've had online, for social media disappearing and people having to interact with more or less, I don't know, so let's say we stop technology at the flip phone, right? And the iPhone doesn't exist. There's no apps. There's no social media. Would I trade for that?
We had MySpace.
Yeah, we did. We had MySpace. That's interesting, man. I don't know. Like, let's say we stopped all technology in like 2005. Like that, and we still had a way to communicate. We still had the internet. We just didn't have the social media. Would you accept that? John, what about you, man? Would you trade all your time online and everything? And wouldn't that be an interesting timeline to see?
I feel grateful that the immersion of social media came later in my life. Like when I was in high school, I had a flip phone, and that was all I needed. And in the super chat that you just brought up, the data in Jonathan Haidt's book that was mentioned is pretty clear that the introduction of smartphones created a massive spike in depression in young people, particularly young girls. And because it's so consuming, the technology was so sophisticated at that point. And I think just because they're so young and the technology is so immersive, I do see utility in like holding off on getting kids smartphones until they're old enough to like, understand what it is and how to use it in moderation.
That's something that I, as a dad of two daughters, and somebody who's grown up, literally my entire career has been built around social media. I am extremely, extremely cautious about that because I know those studies that you mentioned, the idea of these young girls who are 12, 13, 14, everything. And I've had this conversation with both my daughters. Everything you see online is fake. Everything. Don't take it, it's all these are just things that we understand, right? But we have grown up with them. And when you attach everybody showing off their absolute, I was like, nobody ever posts their worst moments. People only post their best moments. It's all a facade, right? You get extreme, the extreme polarities of each. I mean, people will post their worst, my house burned down, whatever, but they don't show you a regular like Saturday afternoon where they're doing laundry, right? So you don't see the mundane in people's lives. And that's very hard to relay to a kid that social media is cool, man. And I've said this on the show before. I don't know if I necessarily like want to ban TikTok, but I think I would like to put some strong regulations on it because I think that we will look back on social media the same way we look back on cigarettes, where for a long time, doctors are recommending cigarettes. It's good for you. Here we are. And then all of a sudden it's like, whoa, actually they cause cancer. I think we're going to do the same with social media, where we're going to look back on this and be like, do you remember when we allowed our children to be on phones and communicate with each other nonstop via social media? And there were no safeguards around that. Like the idea of having to wait till you're 18 or whatever, 21. Like you can't be in the military till you're 18, right? So, having some rules and regulations around that makes some sort of sense to me, for sure.
Yeah, I think it's tricky because, like, I understand the kids side of it too. I mean, if you're at school and you see like your friend has a smartphone and he's playing like Call of Duty on it or whatever, you'd be like, "Fuck, that's like dope. I want one. The other kids have one. Why can't I have one?" If I was a kid, like I would think, like I want one of those phones, man. I can just give me one of them. Like I'll be good with it. Like
yeah.
I think the answer is just having like a candid conversation with your kids and saying like, look, I know these are awesome, but there's a high risk that this is going to have a negative effect on you. Like just be candid about the fact, like you need to be aware that even despite your best efforts to like use it moderately, like these are very seductive machines. And,
Yeah.
This is for you. It's for your benefit.
And we actually have had that exact conversation before.
Yeah.
And my 12-year-old, so she has a phone now, but it's used strictly for communication with us. That's it. There's no apps, no internet, no nothing associated with it, right? Because she's in middle school, we got to pick her up and things like that from school, take whatever. Just keep a little bit better eye on her, and it does have like tracking on it, so we know where she's at and things like that, and we can see everything that's going on the phone. We can see all the messages and everything. It's our phone. She's just borrowing it, right? That's the way that we told her. But before she had that phone, she had a friend who was given a phone who had untethered access. She could just go in and this is a friend that she would hang out with on the weekends. And after she got her phone, she noticed that her friend was always looking down at her phone and never talking to her and always looking at her phone. And my daughter, very mature for her age, was like, I realize what you were saying about this. You know, the idea that this is a distraction machine, and not a whole lot good comes from this. So it was a really good conversation. And it was like, oh, okay, cool. I'm doing this all right. I'm not fucking up that bad. So
yeah, man, that's great. Kids aren't dumb, man. Like, I think if like some of them, I think a lot of them will understand this shit if you just like be straight with them and candid.
You're right.
Explain why.
You're right.
You don't have to like lie to them, you know, or like, yeah.
Kids are pretty fucking smart, whether you like to admit it or not. Also smart, who's Wasp, who came in, says actual message cannot be pasted.
No, I put that in there. I can't post his message. I can read it though. Like StreamYard was actively banning me. I tried 5 different ways.
Okay.
He says, daily reminder that Mao Zedong was the deadliest dictator on earth. He killed around 60 to 80 million of his own people. Mao needs to be seen as bad or worse than bad, mustache man. Thank you very much, Wasp.
Honey Badger says, Craig, I don't watch side scrollers to laugh at the craziness of the industry. I watch for video game news, and I want to continue past the craziness. Nah, well, thank you, Honey Badger. Appreciate that. There's no end in sight for side scrollers anytime soon, buddy. Appreciate you. Victor came in at the 10, says the girls were hit more immediately, but he goes into what happened to boys, which was different, but not any better or worse. It's bad all around. Carl says, I hear where you're coming from, Craig, and waiting, wanting to have less social media madness. But don't forget, we would still be under the thumb of mainstream media and listening to the lies. Yeah, right. And I agree with that. There's no perfect solution here. You know, there really isn't. For Ledge says, Logan, be careful with the phrasing. The U.S. government doesn't grant rights. It limits the U.S. government infringing on them.
Didn't say. Okay.
You have rights by virtue of being human. Better to say CN rights, not protected.
So the Constitution protects our God-given rights.
Yeah.
So those are given to us by our Creator, not a government or any governing body. So our Constitution just protects it for American citizens because tyranny.
Ian came in with the autocorrect. Sorry about that, buddy. Thank you very much for your support. By the way, we are 2 Montez messages away from Montez. Jam Call says the old Battletech magazine ad had a tank wiping out Teletubbies. I miss the old days. Let's go. That was a full campaign of destroying your childhood. I am Ted Bovis says, don't listen to Hypnotic. He's a liar. Okay. Thank you. All right. And we also have this. Mongoose says, hey, it's my birthday. Can I get a happy birthday from our favorite homosexual singer? I don't know if Dan is in the back today. Let me see if he's back there. Just to kind of. Oh, there, Dan. Okay, good to see you, Dan.
Happy, much happy birthday for you.
So long, gay boys.
Jesus, it's so vile. All right. Let's move on to our final story here. We do see all your super chats, all your direct donations, all your Rumble rants, and we'll get to every single one of them before the end of the show. But I want to get to here, which is breaking news yesterday. From first off, it came from Smash and Grums. Now, Smash's video it was very in depth, but I have a nice nice, too long didn't read summary here from Grums that I wanted to point out. And that is the game director for one of the biggest flops, underperforming games of 2024. Dragon Age Veilguard has left BioWare and EA. And this is the person known as Corrine Bush. BioWare Edmonton, the Veilguard studio, is going to be shuttered. A farewell email was shared with Grums, and I verified her leaving with Smash JT's contact at BioWare. The rumor that goes with this is that Edmonton offices of BioWare will be shuttered in February, just before the EA town hall for investors and gamers. It's sad that after completely destroying the game with DEI trans scars and terrible characters and writing, that the game director responsible for it bails and leaves everyone else holding the bag. These people often fail upwards through a woke studio system bent on promoting activists instead of great development. So here is the email right here. And the email reads as follows. Hey all, it's hard for me to be writing these words, but here it goes. It's time for me to say goodbye. Today is my last day at BioWare. And to be clear, I reached out to Smash about this and said, what day was this sent? And he did not have an answer for me on this. Because this was a screen cap from what it was. So he says, after so much contemplation, I've decided to pursue a new challenge and a new project, doing what I love most, making RPGs. It wasn't an easy decision. I mean it when I say I love BioWare, the Dragon Age team, and what we've accomplished together. My time with you has been the highlight of my career. I want to offer my personal thanks to you for your trust, your companionship, and for the many ways in which you've inspired me and helped me grow. I'm eagerly waiting about something I can't write that great experience you create next. And as a fan, I'll be rooting for you. If I can leave you with any advice, it's this. We all know making games is hard. It's part of why we do it. I don't necessarily know that's the case, but making games is also about the people and the reliance we have on one another. So take time to celebrate the wins and lift each other up. The challenge and the work will always be there, but the moments we have with each other are precious and few. Let's stay in touch. So there's the email saying au revoir for Corrine Bush, the
later, dude.
Of Dragon Age. You're giggling, Logan.
Okay, I'm good.
You got any thoughts on that, John?
I was aware that the game was full of cringe shit, but for some reason I thought it sold better than it did. I guess not. And yeah, it's just another example of political messaging and ideology taking over the project and the story at a root level. And you know, people don't like that. I don't like that. It sucks. It gets in the way of actually making RPGs, you know. Right. Where the story should take priority.
Well, it was the story. The whole thing was that story. It was ridiculous. And I was like, I just couldn't. Once I saw just the one scene, and then there was another and another and another. I'm like, I can't even get, like, I wouldn't even take it if someone gave it to me for free. I'd be like, no. Like, yeah.
Like every cutscene I saw was just, maybe I was just seeing the bad ones, but I saw plenty where I was just like, fuck, I could never get invested in this. Yeah, because like there's this cringe integration of millennial dialogue. People saying like oof and shit. Like, come on, dude. It's a fantasy. It's like if Lord of the Rings people started saying on God for real and shit like that, you'd just be like, what is this?
Yep.
Well, let's not forget Inverse, after Dragon Age Veilguard had their launch, Inverse came in and had an article saying Corrine Bush is the ruler of RPGs, conqueror of haters. Okay, I'm just gonna be really honest here, right? I think this was not a situation where this person felt that they were off to their greener pastures somewhere else. Just knowing what I know about the corporate world, right? There was an option. laid out in front for Corinne Bush. And this is sheer speculation. But the option went like this. Look, we can fire you if you want, right? And or you can resign and you can create the narrative, right? The choice is yours. But you're gone either way. You failed at your job. And if you'd like to craft the narrative like you didn't do very well in Dragon Age Veilguard, we'll allow you to do that, right? And I think she chose or this person chose the opportunity to craft the narrative. But either way, a decision was made by the executives there to let go of this person, and that's what's really happening. It's going back to Mercante, right, at Kotaku, where Mercante was saying, "Hey, look, I've decided to leave." Where in reality, we see with her lawsuit with Smash JT, she was actually let go. So that's what's going on here. Now, do you guys think this is a win? Like, or is this a part of the shift? Is this a big part of a bigger shift that's happening, or is this simply just a dollars and cents decision from the company?
I don't think I'd call it a win. Because if this never happened, that would have been a win. If we got a better game, that would have been a win. But I think you're more likely to call it a shift. Yeah.
John?
I can see sort of a win in that, a game like this comes out and it doesn't do well. And hopefully it'll be a lesson for developers and publishers as to like how to better craft something that people actually want. And to finally learn, like, people don't want overt political messaging that's intrusive and gets in the way. Maybe it takes releasing a game like that to learn that lesson. But
what if
maybe they won't learn anything? Yeah, that's a shame. I mean, I don't want to see a team of good people go down because of somebody at the helm who fucked up egregiously. That's definitely not a win.
Yeah.
Right. Well, this is, it's been interesting to see the response to this. And Sabby came in. I always like to see Sabby. Sabby's always really well thought out. She says, this narcissistic loser gutted the charm of Dragon Age, just like it gutted The Sims. The Sims 4 is the worst state it's ever been in, and the community is in denial. This is, of course, the same Sims that gender-locked chest scars and to the male body because apparently women with cancer don't exist, showing clearly who they pander to. Not only are the Sims not mean anymore, but this is the lamest system that's ever existed for the Sims. And, so she continues about the Sims. Says Dragon Age suffered a similar fate, being watered down and turned into an HR fest with dialogue. And it certainly was, quote, horny with some of the cringiest fan fiction dialogue possible. So it says, please go back to your hole you crawled out of, never touch popular IP again, and make your own thing, which it sounds like they're doing. So, but what's interesting about this story as well, there's multiple layers to this. Obviously, there's the game development side of this, but there's also the video game journalist side of this, where we've talked extensively about how in 2024, there was a drastic shift in how people consume their news. Right. It started several years ago, but I think 2024 was really where it took off, where people turned to podcasts, they turned to YouTubers, they turned to X instead of turning to IGN and Game Informer, which closed, and Kotaku and Polygon. Right. And in the case of this situation, Grums and Smash are the ones who broke the story. Except you have this coming out. This is from Smash. It says Jeff Grubb apparently appears to have straight up stolen their exclusive story about BioWare and Corinne Bush after we broke it. And the mainstream media mafia gives him credit for the scoop. These people are real pieces of work. This is why no one trusts mainstream anymore. Zero integrity, zero credibility, zero accountability. So this, once again, they came up with the story. They delivered it. And Jeff Grubb, this is, by the way, I never interact with this person, but I do know I've been blocked, which is Good.
Shocker.
This is his tweet from 14 hours ago. Corrine Bush, director of Dragon Age, really is leaving BioWare, but I don't think EA is closing BioWare Edmonton. Was told there is nothing solid about that part of the rumor. And going back to this, you can see this is the dude, by the way, right next to Mercante. And there's the original tweet. And this is according to VG247, where they attribute it to Giant Bomb's Jeff Grubb, who it's like, what are we doing, when it comes to this? So I don't know, y'all's thoughts on that aspect of this story.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know who broke it first. If it was Smashing Grums, you'd think like whoever else were to report on it, they would just like retweet the story or whatever.
Yeah. Well, he's
I
getting.
actually have more.
Yeah.
I just checked this guy's Twitter. I'm not blocked, but and thanks to everyone who was pointing out that reporting like this is what made me leaker of the year. So that's kind of ironic.
Wow.
He's just owning it. Doesn't care. So there you have it.
Well, what's the one say underneath that?
He's like, okay, relax. Lots of you are now throwing the word hero around, and while I agree that you wouldn't have ever learned about this story without me, I'll settle for a role model to all people.
Okay, so he's trying to.
He's
Wow.
a piece of shit.
Right.
Like, I knew he was trash, but damn, dude, it's like, just tell everybody you're trash.
Oh, wow. Okay. If you actually click on the lower one here, I'll show this my screen. You can see the response to this over here. We got Nick Calandra coming in, giggling here, thinking he's so. But who, by the way, once again, I'm now blocked. I am blocked from Nick Calandra, which is amazing.
No way! Did he ever block me again? Remember how we called him out because he randomly blocked me, and I'm like, dude, I've never talked to you in my life.
Right.
Let's see. Nick Calandra. I thought he wasn't even on Twitter anymore. I thought he went to Blue Sky.
Well, apparently he's back, which I would imagine most Blue Sky.
Oh, look at that! I'm not blocked by him anymore. I guess he got scared.
Well, speaking of Nick, he is nominated for Worst Journalist of the Year at the Real Game Awards, coming up on Thursday. So make sure you guys tune into that. Looking forward to see who takes that award, although I already know because I've seen the results. Make sure you tune in. It'll be great. All right. Hey, we hit our super chat goal today.
Nice.
This is exciting stuff. Now, John, I realize you're a stud when it comes to filmmaking and art, right? But
thanks.
We do our best here on Side Scrollers. We try. And I think it's important. Did you guys see the video of the lady who stopped with the road rage incident where she got out of the car?
Suplex City.
And she hit the guy, and then the guy belly to back suplexed her onto the ground. Did you see that video, John?
I might have. Yeah.
Well,
I've seen a lot of road rage. They all kind of blur in my brain together.
Well, the long and short of it, you need to know that she was yelling for her boyfriend Montez to show up as she was getting suplexed. But Montez was not there. So we have retconned the story, and now Montez is the man suplexing this girl. And after our Super Chat goal, we celebrate with Montez visiting Suplex City.
Bitch! Montez!
That one's my favorite one. That's like the absolute best one.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Montez visiting Suplex City, which resides in the Mushroom Kingdom today.
Yeah, I like that one the best.
Yes. Montez also visits the Moon. He also visits Dustborn, Mortal Kombat, and Street Fighter 2. So depending on the day that you tune in, depending on us hitting our goal. So good for Montez. Equal rights, also equal lefts. Let's go. All right. Let's get to some super chats now. John, Logan, we always allow our guests the opportunity to bounce, but if you guys like to stick, you're more than welcome. But we're gonna get through our super chats. Would you guys like to stay or roll?
I'll stick around, man.
Stay. Yeah.
Let's roll. All right, Blabs, fire away.
Okay. That one we already saw. StreamYards, thanks so much. She Plowright to the sun. Thanks,
Hey!
Kyle.
Wow.
Noodle says, meant to say commercial. Thank you very much. This one, I think Craig should just say it.
Does Falcon... No, I'm not reading that.
I tried. Alex says, I regrettably haven't watched the Side Scrollers live stream in a while. How's everyone doing? Happy Friday, everyone. We're doing okay.
Shit, Alex.
Thanks for coming back. It's
Where
important
you
to hear
been?
that.
I'm just kidding. You know, hey, we're glad you're here. And because, Alex, it's your first time tuning in for a long time, you also.
You are racist.
Yay! We're all racist together.
Unbelievable, Alex. Thank you for that.
Kyle says, Robot Chicken has the most disturbing Snuggles parody. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll take your word for it.
I saw that. It's good.
Joey says, I still love the commercial for Super Smash Bros. On the N64.
So happy together.
Miku says, NES to Super NES, Game Boy, Color, Advance, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Joey says, I think Nintendo will be okay even after people like Shigeru Miyamoto, Koji Kondo, or Takashi Tezuka retire. I hope I said their names right. Thank you very much, Joey.
You did a good job, Blabs. Good job.
Yeah, I never say their names. I'm like, oh god, here it goes. Kyle, I hope for the NS2 Pro controller with real triggers. Thank you very much.
Hall effect.
Ian says, you should see Carbon Animation's first Elden Ring video. All right, thank you very much, Ian.
Carbon Animations. Okay,
Mercenary says, we need Razor to do the Japanese voice here. Mercenary's a little Razor simp. It's adorable. Thank you.
I'm looking forward to seeing Razor on the show, given all this like. But by the way, just real quick, this whole Goonergate thing, right? We talked about this on the show. Well, we haven't talked about it on the show because honestly, I don't really care, right? And people are like, you got to make a decision. No, I don't. I don't care enough to make a decision how to think about it. But we will talk about it with Razor on Tuesday because he's apparently been in the crosshairs of what's going on there. So that'll be fun. And as we always say, I think we talked to you boys about this before the show, but like Blabs and I agree, like ultimately the market will decide on all this stuff. The market decides all. So go Blabs.
Mercenary says, also all emails I use, Local says they don't link to anything on Rumble. I can't figure it out, Craig. No, you should be able to use your Rumble. They've linked it now.
Yeah, we had a conversation with them like a couple days ago about that.
Yeah, they liked my Harry Potter stuff. That was the best part.
That's what you got out of that conversation?
No, did you see my notes? I got a lot out of the conversation.
Hold on, real quick. Hold on, Blabs. Just wait. So we have a conversation. We got on a call with Rumble the other day, right? And Blabs is a part of the call. And they're like, hey, nice Harry Potter stuff. We talked for 30 more minutes. 34 minutes about the future of Locals, its integration with Rumble, everything, how we could work together, all these great things. And Blab took out of it her background. That's what she took out of it.
Now listen, I got lots of information out of it in case you didn't see the notes, but my favorite thing was a nice compliment, okay? I like that.
Okay, go ahead.
God. Anyway, Miku says someone leaked the Real Game Awards.
It's funny you mentioned that because there's only one person who knows all the results, and you're looking at them.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I don't even know anything. Commodore fan says, please read Okami Man as Arnold from Conan when he becomes king. Thanks, no thanks. Thunder Ducky says it's actually called The Little Red Book after Mal. Yes. Jason says, okay, Mr. Kaczynski, save it for your manifesto. Magnum says, Stuttering Craig's best. And Commodore fan says, I worked for Lycos in the late 90s, early 2000s as a chat mod, and I saw the sadness in young girls then, and it's gotten worse. We need to do something. True. Mercenary says, ban all children from the internet until 18. Bring back encyclopedia books and only let high schoolers use that. If school doesn't like it, tough. Yeah, I miss like encyclopedia books. We have to search through books and everything to find the answers. I like that. That was great. Magnum says Hypnotic is all about the truth 90% of the time. Thank you very much. For the Montez, says Henry. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Henry. Hey, it's funny. I actually just found your notes that you shared with me after our Locals called Blabs. Why do they look like this? Why are they just like like Blabs and Locals? They love me. They love Harry. Why? I don't. Why? That was the cover page. That's all there is. It's really weird.
Mercenary just says, I just want the insanity to stop and the rumored cures given to those that need them. Thank you very much. Soul Silver says he can't and won't take responsibility for the mistakes and destruction he and his team made on Dragon Age and Bioware. Hard to get sympathy to a child dressed up as a man that never grow up. One time a band camp says, shame upon the grifters who enable her. Shame upon the gooners who get chubbies from her. Shame, shame, shame. Thanks, one time band camp. PV says Eastern games make better inclusive games than the West. Look at Final Fantasy 16 and Nier Replicant. Incredibly well-written characters with no need to pander. Thank you very much. Neighborhood Threat says missed opportunity to land on the flagpole. Oh yeah. Somebody tell Phoenix.
Well, no, you land on Mario. That's the way to go.
Mage says red note, more like brown note. Am I all right? Thanks very much.
There we go. All right, we're caught up. Good stuff. That was fun today. Lots of in-depth video game, hardcore video games. That's what we did today. Hardcore video games today.
Yeah.
Great. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's wrap it up and move on into the weekend. I'm going to go through more of these notes that Blabs put together for our Call of Locals the other day. And
Excuse me, I took great notes very much. I put bullet points and everything. It was a full page of notes, and all you're like, oh no, she's useless. She just drew Harry Potter.
That's all she did. That's it. Why does it say
Google document, bro?
It actually says, "Will you marry me, locals?" It's really weird on it. It's just it says Blabs loves locals.
So mean to me. Can you send me the picture of that? It's like, these are my notes.
I'll post it on X for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I need everyone real quick. John, tell everybody where they can find you, my man.
John Graham on YouTube. I do R being the Chief and Machinima projects. I'm writing a script right now. I did a Christmas special. Yeah. Subscribe or else.
Subscribe. That's right. What about you, Logan?
Red Bandana Gaming right here on YouTube. On X, it's at RBG_retro. And everybody, subscribe because I'm trying to reach 25,000 subscribers by the end of this year.
Let's go.
Yeah, that's my goal for 20. What year is this? 2025?
2025.
What year is it?
All right.
Yeah, I had to think about it. Is it still 2024? So yeah, that's my push for the year.
Excellent. Well, our push for the year is to get you guys over to sidescrollerspodcast.com to go watch that video right there. It is free for everybody. Just go make an account over there and sign up. Go watch that. We can't post it on YouTube. Not safe. Not safe. I
had such a great statement to say before, but now I really can't say it anymore because I said the wrong thing before about the tease. I was going to say there was a lack of twisty action. Okay.
What?
Just go watch the video.
Go watch the video.
Yes. All right. Go watch the video. It's over on sidescrollerspodcast.com. That's our locals page. Go check it out. We'd really appreciate it. All right. With that said, guys, have a great weekend. Go outside, touch some effing grass, man.
Mm-hmm.
Get out there and go
my
be a
grass
person.
is all dead. It's cold.
Well, get outside and go.
No.
Do whatever. Just don't be on the computer. Get off X. Just hang out. And then we'll see you guys back at it on Monday at 11 a.m. Central Time. Sound good? Sounds good.
Yeah.
All right, with that said, guys, have a great weekend. And remember, people are going to try to keep you down. Don't let them. You guys got a goal. Go get it. Have a great weekend, guys. See you on Monday. Bye-bye.
Fertility.